Greetings, this is Angelica. Just want to do a quick check-in with you so you can do a check-in with yourself. It's good to have, give ourselves some time and space to really slow down. So even if you have 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes right now, perfect. If not, what I'm going to be offering you, I suggest you quickly write it down or re-watch this at a different time when you can sit and really give yourself some reflection time. So yeah, let's go ahead and go there. And I'm going to do this more often. I want you to be giving yourself the space to reflect and go inside, okay? Because that's where we're going to get a lot of our answers, a lot of our insight. And with that provides clarity. And with that provides motivation, inspiration. And with that creates momentum and change. So, anyways, here we go. Okay, so this came up recently. I was looking at this beautiful gift that my friend gave me, and it's a quote by one of my favorite artists, and it's also become one of my favorite quotes. It's by Nina Simone, and she says in an interview, I'll tell you what freedom means to me. No fear. And I remember when I first heard that, I was like, yes. Now that is true liberation. Because I think about all the little ways that I hold myself back, all the little fears, the self-doubt, the anxieties. Because again, those all stem to the core essence, which is fear. And I think about a lot of my clients and where they're struggling and where they're feeling hesitant and what they're afraid of. So, a lot of times we don't even give our fears a voice because we're that afraid of them, or we just kind of push them to the side and we act like they're not there. So the first thing I want to offer to you is actually write out a list of your different fears. You can write 3 or 4 different fears, different things that you find are holding you back, whether it's leaving a job, leaving a relationship, or, applying to a certain type of training that you've been wanting. Like, what's been holding you back? Okay, get very clear. Like, what are the fears? What are the hesitations? And that's the first thing. And then let's go ahead and just choose one, and you can do this for all of them, but right now choose one. And I want you to, and that's number 1, and then number 2, I want you to write out what has been holding me back. In what ways has it been holding me back? Where do you feel that this fear is actually stopping you, your overall growth, your overall life experience? Okay? And then number 3 is I want you to ask yourself, what would my life be like without that fear? Without that doubt? Without that anxiety, what would my life be like? Okay, how would I feel? Okay, and then number 4, the question is, what can I do to soothe myself right now or when that fear comes up? Like really, like self-soothe, not just putting a band-aid over something, not ignoring it, because that doesn't actually stop the fear, because the fear was just going to keep coming back, but actually soothe. And the biggest way of soothing is actually your self-talk. Your self-talk is so important. So here's a suggestion. When that fear comes up, or when you think about that fear, and I want you to envision if it was a child or one of your dearest friends or family member, what would you tell them to help them feel better? Okay, and I want you to tell yourself that over and over and over, just until it starts feeling less heavy and it starts feeling lighter in your body, in your mind, the tension. You could just kind of feel your muscles relax, okay? And you'll know when you're feeling better. And even if it's just for a moment. Okay? Now the 5th thing is, then I want you to get a little bit braver here and actually challenge that fear. Okay, so you don't have to go full force into that fear and challenge it unless you feel super inspired, then by all means. But I want you to take a little step towards that fear, to kind of shut that fear up, to kind of say, actually, I'm choosing to feel differently about this, or I'm choosing to think differently about this, or actually, in spite of that fear, that hesitation, I'm gonna try this. Okay, so I want to give you an example, and I'll post in the description the 5 questions that so you can go back to them. So for example, I was thinking about some fears of mine. So the first one that came up was the fear of, I think there's like this natural fear of giving birth. Okay, it'll be my first time giving birth. I've seen birth, and I know it's not easy. It certainly does not look easy, and I know it's not gonna feel super, amazing. Although some women are having orgasmic birth, and that's something I'm tuning into. But that's a side note. So thinking about, and this is funny, it's a fear of my partner's too. He talks about how the biggest fear for him is he doesn't want to see me in pain. Okay, so 1, we identify that. Okay. 2, in what ways do I feel that it's holding me back? Well, the way that I feel that fear is holding me back is, when I just try to ignore it or not think about it, I feel like it's not really allowing me to fully acknowledge the fear, first of all. And I also feel like it may not be allowing me to prepare for the experience of pain. Although I know that I can't be fully prepared, it's still an unknown, right? But that's something that I think about. 3, what would I feel like if I didn't have that holding me back, that fear? I think I'd feel just more surrendered, and I'd feel more, in trust of the experience. And so, and I feel that that feeling alone would allow me to just relax and enjoy the pregnancy instead of fearing, right? And then number 4, I think it was 3 or 4. Sorry guys, I should have written this out. But then the 5th, the 4th one was, how do I self-soothe? And literally the way I self-soothe when that comes up is I remind myself that women have been doing this for eons, and that the pain is temporary, and that I can trust my body, and that it's okay, that it'll move. The contractions, the pain, it'll move. So, that helps. That's self-soothing. And the more I kind of tune into that, the more it helps me. And I reassure my partner the same thing. And something that my midwife suggested for my partner and I is to actually get educated, get more educated in learning how, particularly for him, how he can help soothe during the pregnancy. Okay? And to normalize birth. So actually watch birth videos and see how women have been doing it for eons. And women are doing it now. So we've been addressing it, and that's the 5th thing, is what can we do to challenge challenge our fear, is to actually, we're educating ourselves more so we can just start feeling more empowered as we're leading up to the birth experience. So again, this is how we're this is me self-soothing and the way he's learning to self-soothe. And then the 5th thing was, we're educating ourselves, and I'm getting into, more birth meditations and birth affirmations. So, and that's helping me challenge the fears. So there you have it. There's an example. So I'd love to hear what yours are. Feel free to post on here, or you can always email me at angelica.tonlatzin@gmail.com. And yes, we will be in touch. I'm going to keep sharing these spaces for you. Okay, take care. Blessings.